From Washington, D.C., this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hena Zuberi. Our top story tonight. The United States withheld 3,500 bombs last week, officials say. President Joe Biden withheld 2,000 pound and 500 pound bombs that he feared could be dropped on Rafah, Palestine. The news came as Biden again conflated campus protests against Israel's war on Gaza with anti-Semitism. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin told the Senate today the administration is not sure when these bombs will be released. We're currently examining the short-term security support in the context of the events in Rafah. We have not yet decided how to proceed regarding the suspended shipment. Biden has faced mounting pressure from the Free Palestine student movement to cut off arms to Israel and use his influence to end the genocide of Palestinians. Israel has received more U.S. military aid than any other country since World War II, according to the Washington Post. The U.S. gave $3.8 billion in annual military assistance to Israel. In addition, last month, the U.S. committed $26 billion in aid to Israel, which is being tied in the International Court of Justice for genocide by South Africa. In related news, Representative Rashida Tlaib said Tuesday that the Israeli government's decision to invade the southern Gaza city of Rafah was directly connected to American lawmakers' recent approval of billions of dollars in additional military aid. Tlaib was amongst 37 House Democrats who voted against foreign aid package that included military assistance for Israel, which has repeatedly used U.S. weaponry to commit atrocities in Gaza. President Joe Biden signed the package into law late last month. Last week, Tlaib joined 56 fellow House Democrats in urging the Biden administration to suspend deliveries of offensive weapons that could be used in an Israeli assault on Rafah. Rafah is currently home to more than half of Gaza's population, including around 600,000 children. Israeli forces, including ground troops and tanks, have seized control of the Gaza side of Rafah's border crossing with Egypt. They've also halted the delivery of critical humanitarian aid as the enclave's population continues to starve. A day earlier, Israel's military ordered more than 100,000 people to eastern Rafah to evacuate, a directive aid organizations and experts condemned as a grave violation of international law. Tlaib said Tuesday there is nowhere safe in Gaza for displaced people to go. Nearly 80% of the civilian infrastructure has been destroyed. Tlaib demanded the International Criminal Court swiftly issue arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Syria Israeli officials to finally hold them accountable for this genocide. Many academic groups of Georgetown University stand united in solidarity with students advocating for Palestinian rights. The Center for Muslim-Christian Understanding, ACMCU, the Bridge Initiative, and the Center for Contemporary Arab Studies, CCAS, at Georgetown University have condemned the use of force to suppress peaceful protests. They're emphasizing the protection of students' well-being, rejecting attempts to label protesters as, quote, terrorists or, quote, anti-Semitic. They highlight the dangers of such rhetoric amidst rising Islamophobia and hate crimes. The groups asserted their support for students driving social change, likening their efforts to pass movements against injustices like the Vietnam War and apartheid. They call for an end to U.S. complicity in Israel's offenses against Gaza and Palestine, urging a shift towards justice and peace. Princeton University students are risking their lives by going on a hunger strike for free Palestine. Let's watch a special report.
These 14 Princeton University students have chosen to risk their lives. Their cause is a free Palestine. They are part of a student movement which has swept the nation from coast to coast in the United States. They started a hunger strike on May 3rd, 2024. On April 25th, they set up a Gaza solidarity camp, demanding the university to divest from Israel. Despite providing prior notice, the Princeton University thwarted their efforts to establish the camp. It threatened to expel them. Undeterred, when the students convened at the designated sites on April 25th, they were met with a formidable presence from the Princeton Police Department. Students who pay their fees were accused of trespassing. 13 of them were detained. Some were banned from the campus as their tents were dismantled on the very first day. Despite facing threats, the students decided to continue their non-violent peace camp. They asked Princeton to divest from companies that profit from or engage in the State of Israel's ongoing military campaign in Gaza, and end university research on weapons of war funded by the Department of Defense. They also called to enact an academic and cultural boycott of Israeli institutions supporting Palestinian academic and cultural institutions, and to advocate for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire. The university rebuffed students' pleas for dialogue. It was refusal to dialogue which forced these students to embark upon a hunger strike. They have two demands.
Our demands are that they hold a meeting with us to discuss disclosure and divestment, and second and third, that they drop legal and disciplinary charges against the students that have been arrested in previous peaceful actions.
They draw inspiration from the legacy of nonviolent resistance and struggle for justice.
There's a long tradition of nonviolent resistance by Palestinian political prisoners and doing saltwater hunger strikes.
They are risking their lives. Here is a physician's statement after examining the students.
The strike continues on for a few days. Organ systems can start failing. It has an immense there's immense consequences on the heart and the liver and the kidneys.
There's this famous hadith. The idea is that, like, when you see an injustice happen, you should try to do something with your hands, and if you can't do something with your hands, then you should try and do something with your tongue, and if you can't do something with your tongue, then you should try and at least feel it in your heart. And I think, as Muslims, we are told to command right and forbid what is wrong, to stand up for justice and follow in the example of Musa alayhi salam, standing up to the oppression of Fir'aun and the oppression of the Bani Israel.
Some students are beginning to get more chronic headaches. They're feeling fatigued, having difficulty sleeping, having muscle pain. But what's making that worse is the fact that the university has consistently been disrespecting us and refusing to allow us adequate conditions in which to sort of rest and get some relaxation and try to preserve our energy. They refuse to allow us to put up tents so that we can stay safe from the rain and the wind and the cold. They refuse to allow us They refused, frankly, to even meet our demands, because if they're worried about our health and safety, then the number one thing they can do is simply engage with us, and they've not done so.
They are asking for solidarity.
Please continue to support. If you can physically come to the encampment, we need numbers. We need to pressure the administration, right? So please, if you can physically come here, come here. If you can't, then share this on social media, get the word out. We need to we need to mobilize as an ummah to stand up for our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Do everything you can.
We need people to keep showing up. The number one thing we can do is continue to put pressure on institutions and make it clear just how shameful their complicity in this genocide is.
Is Princeton open for dialogue? Does it respect students' rights for free speech, where Princeton students spend $80,000 and more per year? Does Princeton know that more than 100,000 Palestinians have been killed or injured? Does Princeton know that these students are risking their lives for the sake of 2 million starving in Gaza right now? Does Princeton have a heart?
Twitter has apparently deleted the account of Saudi YouTuber Mahar Musalli. This is after he created a short video about ongoing massacres in Gaza. The video reviews the history of Israel's occupation and genocide and is entitled, "Our Faith is Stronger Than Your Bombs." Observers say that the title seems to be a play on the video shared by Associated Press produced by Ukrainian artists in response to Russia's invasion called "Our Fire is Stronger Than Your Bombs." It's being shared widely by Free Palestinian activists. However, even TikTok has the following disclaimer. Bringing more news stories after the break. Stay tuned and we will be right back. Welcome back. TikTok and its parent company ByteDance this week sued Attorney General Merrick Garland. This was over a recently signed law forcing ByteDance to sell the popular social media app under threat of a ban. The plaintiffs claim the law violates the company's First Amendment free speech rights. In the 65-page suit, TikTok and ByteDance claim it would not be possible for ByteDance to divest from TikTok in the 270-day timeframe required by the law. H.R. 815, which established the ban, designates apps operated by TikTok and ByteDance as foreign adversary-controlled applications. The act bans these apps unless the owner of such an app divests from it within 270 days, subject to a one-time 90-day extension. President Joe Biden signed the bill into law nearly 2 weeks ago, after it passed the U.S. House and Senate as part of a foreign aid and sanctions package. The U.S. said on Tuesday that it is stepping up efforts against those preying on migrants as it tries to protect migrant workers from exploitation. Secretary of State Antony Blinken made the announcement at a meeting in Guatemala of the Los Angeles Declaration on Migration and Protection. He said that Washington has also announced a new visa restriction policy in February. It targets the individuals who knowingly provide transportation, including through charter flights arriving in Nicaragua, to irregular migrants coming to the United States. Blinken says the U.S. is redoubling efforts to protect migrant workers from exploitation. He also notes that the U.S. is joining the International Labor Organization's Fair Recruitment Initiative. The program helps ensure that cross-border recruitment efforts promote gender equality and prevent human trafficking and forced labor. Donald Trump claimed Tuesday a gag order imposed against him ahead of his ongoing New York hush money trial was unconstitutional. The comments came a day after the former president was held in criminal contempt for the second time in a week and threatened with incarceration. Trump is on trial for alleged hush money payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels. New York's Supreme Court has banned Trump, a famously prolific social media poster, from making extrajudicial statements that could sway jurors and witnesses. Last week, Judge Juan Marchand of the New York Supreme Court held Trump in contempt for 9 violations of the order. He cited statements made via Trump's social media platform and his campaign website. Trump was fined $9,000 and ordered to delete the offending posts. This week's order arose from a statement Trump made in an interview on April 22nd, claiming the jury was biased against him because it was picked quickly and is composed of mostly Democrats. In Monday's order, Mirshan said that the statement violated the gag order by making public statements about the jury and how it was selected. He said Trump's comments called into question the integrity and legitimacy of the trial. Mirshan issued likely his strongest warning yet that the former president could be jailed should he continue to violate the order. Trump is the first former U.S. president to be charged with a crime. Police in India have opened a case against senior leaders of the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP) over a social media post that demonizes Muslims. The video, which has garnered over 9 million views, portrays opposition Congress leader prioritizing Muslims over other Hindu marginalized groups. The Election Commission has requested the removal of the contentious video from the social media platform X. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, seeking a third term, has been accused by opponents and commentators of using Islamophobic rhetoric to gain electoral advantages. Despite the model code of conduct prohibiting religiously divisive campaigning, he has been polarizing the electorate and targeting Muslims. This is the second such anti-Muslim video the BJP has posted online in the past 2 weeks. India is several weeks into a general election that ends in June. India's 200 million Muslims are the largest minority group in the country. The video shows caricatures of Congress leader Rahul Gandhi and Karnataka Chief Minister K. Siddaramaiah, who belongs to the same party, placing an egg marked Muslims in a next to 3 eggs referring to Hindu marginalized castes. When the eggs hatch, Gandhi is seen feeding funds to the chick, which is wearing a skull cap and has a menacing expression. Mohsin Ali, a Green Party councillor in Leeds, the United Kingdom, has dismissed criticism of his shouting Allahu Akbar after getting elected. Ali's victory in the Gipton and Hare Hills ward prompted backlash over his remarks, which he claims were misrepresented. Accusations intensified as footage circulated of Ali's support for Palestine, including claims of Israel's media control and chants for Palestinian freedom. Responding to the backlash, Ali expressed regret for any upset caused by his remarks, emphasizing a call for ceasefire and peace in Gaza. Despite facing scrutiny, Ali defends his faith-based expression of gratitude and celebration, calling for understanding amongst the ongoing crisis. London's Mayor Sadiq Khan clinched an unprecedented third term, marking a historic win for the Labour Party. Khan's resounding win over Conservative rival Susan Hall underscores a significant setback for the Tories ahead of looming general elections. At 53, Khan's triumph extinguishes hopes of Conservatives snatching the mayoral seat, maintaining Labour's stronghold since 2016. The outcome amplifies Labour's dominance in London politics while posing challenges for the opposing party in rallying support. Khan's re-election not only cements his leadership, but also signals a pivotal moment in the capital's political landscape. That's all from our Washington, D.C. studio tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates. Your support is needed more than ever to continue our mission of providing informative, educational, and inspiring content for Muslims in North America and around the world. Donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit our website. Assalamu alaikum and good night.